Good morning, sixth graders. It's Tuesday, April 14th, and I hope you had a good weekend and a nice Easter, and I hope you're ready to get started on our lessons for this week. Today, we're going to find a percent of a quantity. Now, when you see this percent of a quantity, just remember that percent means 100. So one way of writing 40% is 40 over 100. 40 hundredths. When we read that as 40 hundredths, then we can change that to a decimal, 0.40, because we know that 2 places over from the decimal point, we say 40 hundredths. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is change it into a decimal, and that's how we do that. Then you just take the 80 times 0.40, and you know how to multiply decimals now. We did that earlier in the year. So we do 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 8 is 32. And then we add these up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 2, 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. Then what we have to remember to do is go back up here and see how many numbers are after the decimal point. And here there is 1, 2. So then we come down here and we go 1, 2, decimal point. And that's how we get the number 32. So 40% of 80 is 32. All right, let's look at number 2. It says 25% of 60. Well, 25% is 25 over 100, which when you read it as 25 hundredths, you know how to write that as a decimal, 0.25. So you just take the 0.25 and multiply it by 60. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 6 is 12. Then we add these up. Right here, we're going to add these. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 3 plus 2 is 5, 0 plus 1 is 1. Then remember to go back up here, 1, 2, decimal point. There are 2 places past the decimal point, so we have to do that here, 1, 2, decimal point. And so our answer is 15. All right, let's move down to number 9 and try that one. Again, 85% is the same as 85 hundredths, which we write that as a decimal, 0.85. We set it up like this, 800 times 0.85, and then we just multiply. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 8 is 40. Remember to keep your columns. 8 times 0 is 0, it goes in this column. 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 8 is 64, and then we're going to add those numbers up. And we get 0, 0, 0, 4 plus 4 is 8, 0 plus 6 is 6. And now to put the decimal point, we go up here and we count 1, 2, decimal point. We come down here, 1, 2, decimal point. All right, we don't need these zeros after the decimal point, so our number's just 680. Okay, so go ahead as your assignment, do the remaining 12 of those. Those should be pretty easy if you use your multiplication chart. If you're not sure of your facts, just look back at the 3 examples that I did and set them up the same way. And good luck with that one. All right, we're going to move on now to the next page, page 15, finding the whole. Okay, when we have the percent. All right, we're on page 15 now, so let's take a look at these. Now this is worded a little differently, and so we do it a little differently. 25% of what number is 13? Okay, so we know that 25%, let me go up here and grab this marker, 25%, just like the last page that we did, is 25 per 100, or 25 over 100. And then we know how to read that as 25 hundredths. Oops. And we know how to write that as a decimal as 0.25. That's 25 hundredths. Okay, so now this is a little bit different though. We are going to say 25, 0.25 times, remember in multiplication of means times, okay, and then, excuse me, we're just going to put a variable in here for what number. So we can use any number or any variable. We can just use x. That would be fine. 25 times x is 13. Okay, so 25% of what number is 13? All right, so what we have to do is get x by itself. So in order to do that, we have to divide top and the bottom by 25. So that leaves us with just x over on this side because the 25s cancel each other out. Okay, now we're left with x, which is what we want. So x equals, and then we take the 13, oops, and we're going to divide the 13 by 0.25. Because whatever we do to the left side, we have to do to the right side. All right, so remember, we don't ever want a decimal in the divisor. So we have to move this. We're going to move it 2 places over and make this a whole number, 25. Now, whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. So we're going to add some zeros here. And then we are going to move this decimal over 2 places, okay? Then we can just bring that decimal point up. Oops, make that line a little longer. Okay, so now we have to divide. How many 25s are in 1? We know that's 0. How many 25s are in 13? We know there's none there. So now we're looking at how many 25s are in 130. Well, remember what we talked about as far as guessing and checking. Now, if you can think of money, you can think there's 4 quarters in 100 and then another quarter in that 30. So that's 5. If you didn't know that, you could always guess and check. Remember what we do when we guess and check. We just bring that number over. And then we just start guessing and checking. So let's just say you said 4 and you find out that 4 is 100 and that's not going to be big enough. So then we go up to 5. Okay? All right. So let's see if I can. Okay. So anyway, we'll do 5. So 5 is here, and we go 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, and then we subtract. Okay, so we can't take 5 from 0. We have to borrow here, and then we make this a 10. So now we've got 10 take away 5 is 5. 2 take away 2 is 0, and bring down our 0. How many 25s are in 50? That's 2. 2 quarters we know are 50 cents. 2 times 25 is 50. So our answer is 52. So what this means is 25% of the number 52 is 13. Okay? All right, we'll do one more. How about number 8? Excuse me. 75%, we're going to change to 0.75. And then we're just going to multiply 66 by 0.75. All right, let's take a look at number 4. Okay, 5%. Be careful, 5% is 5 hundredths. So in order to write 5 hundredths as a decimal, it's, oops, we did it again here, 0.05. not 50. This is 5%. So we're going to go here and we're going to do 5% times a number equals 12. And we have to solve for x. So the way to do that is divide both sides by 0.5. And this just crosses, these cross each other out. So we're left with x equals, now what we have to do here is also divide this by 0.05. 0.05 is what I meant. Okay, so we come over here and we draw this and put 12. We're going to need a decimal point and some zeros here. I'm going to run out of space. 0.05, all right? And then remember, you can't have a decimal and a divisor, so move it over 2 places. And we'll do that with this. 2 places over. And whatever we do to the left, we have, or the divisor, we have to do to the dividend. So we move that over 2 places. Now we have 5 into 1200. 5 will go into 12 twice. Oops, let's change that back to a darker color. 2, so this is 10. 2 take away 0 is 2. Bring down your 0. How many 5s are in 20? 5 times what is 20? We know that's 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And then bring down your last 0. How many 5s are in 0? 0. So 5% of 240 is 12. That's how we get that. All right, we're going to look at one more. Let's do number 7. 95% of what number is 57? All right, so what do you think the first step is? We got to change 95% to a decimal. 95 hundredths. So 0.95 is 95 hundredths. Then we have to take the 95 hundredths and we're going to, for a number, we're going to just use the variable x and we can put it right next to it. It means the same thing. 95 times x is 57. Okay? Now, to get x by itself, we have to divide both sides by 0.95. And when we do that, we get x over here because they just cancel each other out. Equals, all right, so now whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So 57 divided by 0.95. We can't have a decimal and a divisor, so we're going to move it 2 places over. Remember, a decimal, when we need it, is always at the end of the number, so we can put it there in order to move it over 2 places. 1, 2. Now we have to guess and check. How many 95s are in 570? Well, let's just do a guess and check. Let's see, 95 times, let's say, let's try 7. All right, so 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 9 is 63. Plus 3 is 66. Well, you can see that 665 is too high, so we have to go down 1. So let's try 95 times 6. All right, we'll get 30. Okay, 6 times 9 is 54, plus 3 is 57. Right on the money. So our answer here is going to be 6. 6 times 95, we already know, is 570. And then we're going to bring down this 0. How many 95s are in 0? We know that's 0. So this number is 60. So 95% of 60 is 57. All right. I hope that helps you to do this page. So the first step, remember to change that percent to a decimal. You know how to do that now. And then just remember to divide, because whatever you do to the left side of the equation, you have to do to the right. All righty, good luck with that. All right, let's take a look at 13. Page 13, we didn't do that one yet. Number 1 says, Emma is saving for a bicycle that costs $300. This month, she reaches 60% of her goal. Label and shade the bar model to show her progress. How much money has she saved? Okay, so we've got this by 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. So there's 5 boxes here. So 300 divided by 5 is 60. So there's $60 in each of these boxes. And so it says that she reached 60% of her goal. So we're going to look over at 60% and go up to see how much money she has already for her bicycle, and we see that that's $180. Okay? All right, let's look at 2. Justin needs to make 80 illustrations for an art book. He has made 40% of the illustrations. Make a bar model to show his progress. How many illustrations does he still need to make? Okay, so I made this bar. Not real proficient on this, using this pen yet, but I did my best. So let's see. We've got 0 to 100% here, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. And we know that he has made 80 illustrations, okay? So, or he needs to make 80, so that would coincide with 100%. He would be done after 80. So he has made 40% so far. So we have 5 boxes here, and if we divide 80 by 16, or I'm sorry, 80 by 5 boxes, we get 16. And let me see if I can show you that. So 80, divided by 5. 5 goes into 8 once. And then we subtract. 8 take away 5 is 3. Bring down our 0. How many 5s are in 30? 6. That's where we got the 16. So 16 illustrations, and then 40% is 32. 60% is 48. 80% is 64, and of course all of them is 80. All right, so he has made 40%. It says, how many illustrations does he still need to make? Okay, so he has already made 40%, 32. So we have to take the 80, all of them, subtract 32 that he's already made, and see how many he has left to make. 10 take away 2 is 8. 7 take away 3 is 4. So he has 48 more that he has to make. 48 more. Oops. Oh. Well, it's not letting me. All right, let's see if I can get this 8 in here. All right, so I hope that's clear. Funny looking 8. 48. There we go. All right, I hope that helps you. Okay. Okay, let's look at number 3. In a classroom of 28 students, 75% of the students have met their reading goal. Label the double number line. How many students met their reading goal? What fraction of 28 students met their reading goal? Explain. All right, well, we're going to label our percents because we know how to do that here. So let's go in here and label. This is 0%. And I'm not putting the percent signs because it just is a little distracting. Just know that this is percent. 20, 40, wait a minute. I did that wrong. I've got to erase. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. I didn't look at that carefully. So this is 0, this is 25%, 50, 75, and 100. All right, and it says that 100% is 28 students, but we have to find out how many is 75% of the students. Okay, so we've got four boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So 25% is 7 students. 50% is 14 students. 75% is 21 students. Okay, so let's see, it asks us what fraction of 28 students met their goal. So we can write that as 75 over 100. What fraction met their goal? 75% is the same as 75 hundredths. And when we reduce that, dividing the top and the bottom by 25, because that's the number that goes into both of them, we get 75 divided by 25 is 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So 3/4 of the students have met their reading goal. All right, that's your lessons for today. I hope that this helps, and I will talk with you tomorrow. Bye.